from JH Customs. Don't think we weren't going to leave you without a Halloween video for Halloween. We will be going through the complete Michael Myers collection from part 1 all the way to part ends. So let's start this video off and go in directly into part 1. The pumpkin from part 1. This pumpkin from part 1 had these rounded eyes with a little slit down its nose by the mouth, sitting next to Judith Myers' tombstone. The original Nick Castle, Michael Myers. The mask most people say is the best mask, in their opinion. Underneath him is young Michael, and then Dr. Loomis. In this part 1, forever, the very first slasher that set off an entire genre of slasher films. Michael Myers Part 1. The mask of Part 1, the shape was perfect. Nick Castle's face was longer and it stretched the mask a little bit, giving it a different look, kind of disguising the fact it was a Captain Kirk mask. Young Michael killed his sister Judith upstairs with that knife that night to become one of the most notorious killers. Then we move over to part 2. It's the same night this takes place. Michael Myers stalking Laurie Strode in the hospital. In this movie, the pumpkin is somewhat similar, but this one doesn't have the slice going down the nose. The nose is more round, the eyes are more round. That is the pumpkin. There's the Ben Tramer mask. They thought who was Myers and accidentally killed him. Laurie Strode this is a custom out of our office here of Laurie walking out of the hospital door with Michael right behind her, stalking her with a knife. And this one, Michael Myers' mask is a little bit more round. Still stalking Laurie in the hospital. Then we move on to still part 2. This is where Dr. Loomis set Michael's punk ass ablaze at the end with the lighter. He said, "No more, Michael, no more. Die." And he blew the hospital to hell with the oxygen tanks. This is Michael on fire. These pieces are removable. Underneath, before that happened, Laurie Strode put 2 bullets right into Michael's eyes, making him blind. So there is part 2 Myers next to good Dr. Loomis before he put Michael down. Then this series takes a little turn. Here is the complete movie collection, the Rob Zombie collection, and then what came next, the Halloween Kills, and then eventually Halloween Ends. Here is a knife actually back here, autographed, double-sided. Tom Moga, part 4. And then on this side, Don Shanks, Michael Myers, part 5. Real knife, autographed. Just want to share that with you before we go into the next one. Pumpkin Season of the Witch. On the cover, Halloween Season of the Witch was a skull coming out of a pumpkin. But the pumpkin for the movie in the beginning was the silver shamrock pumpkin from that movie. And during the movie, the TV would play over and over. 3 more days to Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. 3 more days to Halloween, silver shamrock. Don't forget, kids, to tune in on Halloween night for the free giveaway. And when the kids tuned in that night, on the back of their masks, these little tiny silver shamrock logos released an evil demonic force from a pagan entity that made worms and snakes and centipedes, spiders, and all type of cockroaches and grossness melt these kids' heads. Poisonous and venomous snakes came out and attacked the families. And in this movie, they had 3 costumes: the witch, the pumpkin, and the skeleton. So now we move on from that one. Over here we have a little homage to Halloween. We have the head carved into a pumpkin, lit up. We have the Halloween logo. The Myers mask beat to a greasy green sloppy pulp. The runes, the candle, the axe, and of course the big thing of syringes filled with sedatives. The Strode real estate sign where kids posted, "He is coming," out of cardboard as a joke, because they knew it was once occupied by the boogeyman. Then we move on to part 4. Halloween part 4. Michael Myers grabs this mask while he's stalking Jamie Lloyd. And it's a cheap mask from a drugstore. In the movie, it didn't have many features because it was what would be equal today is maybe a Family Dollar or something like that. But he still knew that it was his mask, so he grabbed it, not caring too much about the look of the mask. But once again, it took shape, and in part 4, Michael Myers set on a killing spree to kill Jamie Lloyd. Then we move on from that to part 5. In part 5, after Michael Myers at the end of part 4 took several shots from shotgun blasts and fell down a well and was dispatched with dynamite, he went down a river and barely grabbed onto a fisherman's hut. The fisherman took care of Michael for an entire year. He must have had some type of knowledge of mask building, because he repaired Michael's mask and gave it a long cowl, and it now looked like this in this movie. Long slick back hair, long cowl, collar down. The nose was cut out and replaced. There was a triangle there. So obviously the fisherman did Michael a favor before Michael awoke from his slumber on Halloween and killed that fisherman. Here is the scene where he killed the blonde devil girl in the shed with the scythe. But before he did that, he donned the brute mask in the Firebird to get to the party and find out where Jamie would be. This is part 5, Myers. Then we move on to part 6, Michael Myers. This is the pumpkin from part 6. The face, jagged, mean, evil, scary looking. Part 6 Myers, still under the control of Thorne. Myers in this has a more jagged hairstyle. The mask is more original, but with a more evil look on the eyes. Mean mugging. In this one, at the end, before he killed all the occultists, he picked up this big surgical machete and went to work, doing what he does best, making flesh chunks and pieces, fresh human sushi. Now, from part 6 to part 7, Halloween H2O. In this movie, there were several masks. The one on is the CGI mask, and here is the KB mask. Both masks are really great. This movie right here, not particularly one of the best in the season, but it still was part. Here is the pumpkin from that movie. Now we move on to Resurrection. This is not the official release. This is a hybrid figure I made for this video. The mask is very similar to the previous. Hair is spiky. Michael's going on a revenge kill after Laurie Strode accidentally cut off the head of an innocent EMS. Here is the pumpkin from that movie. This movie also has a jagged pumpkin with similar looks. So we move from part 6 and we go on to Rob Zombie. Now this series ended. This was the Curse of Thorns series. And here is each of the Myers from each one of those. And then we move on to Rob Zombie's Halloween. We have Rob Zombie's Halloween. Tyler Mane played Michael Myers, a massive behemoth of a man. In the beginning, there's young Michael, before he also, once again, restarted the entire killing spree in the beginning. There is Rob Zombie's version of Dr. Loomis. In part 1, Michael Myers got his jumpsuit. It was a browner color. He killed Joe Grizzly, a big trucker, to get the outfit. He also was wearing his infamous pumpkin paper mache mask, which was just terrifying to witness. This Myers was a brute. Part 2, not the best in the series, but still, I am a completionist, so I always try to get one of everything from the movie. This Myers was shot in the face at the end of Part 1 and still wore the mask. Now homeless and a vagabond, eating dogs, cats, and whatever he can to survive off the land. This Myers would go to the end until he was shot down and killed, returning home to his mother. Then it starts again in Halloween. Here is Halloween. The remake, the pumpkin had hearts for eyes and a nose. The mask from this movie, when they met Michael at the asylum, they said, Michael, they took the original mask that is now decayed, and they said, we know you can feel it, Michael. We know you can feel the presence of the mask. And they were just begging for him to don that mask again. And he did, killing the reporters. Here is Michael unmasked, staring into the void of the eyes of his own mask. Blood dripping from his knife, ready to once again go out and make the best Halloween night to remember from everyone in that village. Then we move on to Halloween Kills. Laurie Strode, now a lot older, trained herself in weapons and combat to prepare herself for Michael Myers' attack, sitting here with her Winchester, ready to go to war. Michael Myers from this movie, in Part 2, survives the fire. He's been shot in the face, but not directly. Mask is burnt. Hands are messed up. This one, actually, the hand should only have 2 fingers, but obviously I put the wrong hand on. I am sorry for that, and I apologize. But Myers, anyways, burnt, shot a couple times, still survives through the night. This is the night that he kills half the town at the end of the movie, stabbing everyone to death and getting away pretty much with murder, killing Laurie Strode's oldest daughter and making it and then hiding. And in this movie, he got shot several times, stabbed in the back of his neck, and just took the worst beating at the end before he got up and just murked everybody. Which brings me to the final movie, which I call the biggest piece of shit ever made. Some might hate me for saying that, but I have to put it out there. Anyways, Halloween Kills. This was the pumpkin from Halloween Kills. It reverse ordered from decayed pumpkin to a brand new pumpkin. Then Halloween Ends. This was the pumpkin from Halloween Ends. In Halloween Ends, Michael is now invalid, living in the sewers, burnt, stabbed, moldy, decaying, and dying. Somehow, he just didn't recover this time. I guess the adamantium skeleton finally poisoned him as well. His knife, rusty and dull, goes out one last time for a Halloween night to kill and murder, but this time he is stopped by Laurie Strode, pinned against the counter and bled dry, and then they took him through the town and put him in a meat grinder for all the town to see. So we'll go one more time back through these Halloween figures. And this is the complete Michael Myers Halloween figure collection. From Part 1 all the way down to Ends. Let's give you a fair shot at this video. from man-made monsters, we hope you have a happy Halloween. Stay spooky, stay safe. And thank you. Subscribe, like, comment, and post. Which is your favorite Halloween movie? What order would you place these movies in from best to worst? We would love to know your opinion. Please post down below. And once again, happy Halloween.